hello there. It's Sunday morning and I was just outside enjoying my rather nice cup of coffee. It's a bit chilly out here. Anyway, I just got a reply to my last ever Alex Belfield video from a guy by the name of Andy. I won't give out his last name because I don't want pile-ons. But this Andy has said Alex Belfield was jailed to stop him speaking out for our free speech. Yet, all you people want to do is criticise him. Do you really want to live in a country where the government controls your right to speak your mind online? Well, Andy, this whole court case that Alex Belfield went through was nothing to do with free speech whatsoever, or else he would have been taken down a long time ago. I think, Andy, what you lack is free thinking. You are unable to do the thinking for yourself. This court case that Alex Belfield went through was about the right to live in peace without fear of harassment. That's what Alex Belfield did. He wasn't having free speech. Yeah, the first couple of videos that he did, fair enough. He didn't like a person, so he then comes out and says, I don't like a person. But to send the link to that video to someone in an email so that that person actually knows that it's there. He didn't just send it once or twice. In a 10-year period, he sent dozens and dozens and dozens of these emails to his victims. It's alleged that there were 6,000 odd emails over a 10-year period to his victims. Alex Belfield terrorised 8 families. It wasn't just the victim themselves that brought the prosecution against Alex Belfield. It was their families too. Alex Belfield harassed these people to within an inch of their lives. As one person said, he was seconds away from committing suicide. That's right, Alex Belfield drove at least one person to the very brink of suicide. That's how bad it got. Now, is that free speech? Obviously you think that is. Alex Belfield, his victims' lives were ruined for 10 years. It wasn't only their family lives that were ruined, it was also their work lives. One of the victims had to have a security guard to escort him from the building that he worked in to his parked car because he feared Alex Belfield would come and get him, or one of Alex Belfield's followers will come and get him. You clearly are an Alex Belfield follower and you've been brainwashed to such an extent that you are incapable of thinking clearly. Oh yeah, I know it's early morning and I'm still in my pyjamas, but this guy just riled me right up. Right? This court case had nothing whatsoever to do with free speech. This, like I said, this court case was about the right to live in peace without the fear of harassment. Andy, tell me, if you think that it's okay to harass the victim's pregnant wife, do you think that's free speech? Tell me, is it okay to harass the mother of one of your victims? I don't think so. I think that's not free speech at all. I mean, if you think that Alex Belfield was a whistleblower, Tell me one thing he blew the whistle on. All Alex Belfield did was read yesterday's newspaper and claimed it as himself. Alex Belfield never once uncovered any wrongdoing. Everything that he talked about had already been discussed in the newspapers. Some of these little stories that he came out with, claiming to happen today, were 10 years old. If you go back, or you can't go back now because he's deleted some of those videos. Alex Belfield was a shock jock. He would come out and he would say things that got you riled up to a point where you will go and harass other people. Is it sinking in yet? Is it sinking in that Alex Belfield was a complete monster? Alex Belfield went out of his way to make other people's lives misery for no other reason than to satisfy his own ego. The man was hideous. The man was horrid and vile. It wasn't only the sexual innuendos that he came out with, it was also the attacks on the disabled, the mentally ill, people who were unable to stop eating, the rather large people he would attack as well. And of course that doesn't do any good whatsoever. I know I was put on what's the weight at one point because of things that people were saying about me at the time. When you were young growing up, okay, you might have a bit of puppy fat, and it doesn't help if someone said, "Oh, you're fat." Right, so you go home and you think about it and you cry a bit and you do this and you do that and you eat a chocolate bar just to make yourself feel better. Now, telling a fat person they're fat, right, doesn't work. I know, I'm proof of that. And it's only when you suddenly realise, yeah, okay, I've got to look after myself. I don't need to worry about what other people say. Just worry about yourself. Anyway, Andy, please just try and think a bit before you speak. What you said in that message, that was free speech. Now, if you'd gone on to make nasty, vile comments, that wouldn't have been free speech. That would have been hate speech. But because you kept it fairly decent, you weren't personal, you weren't degrading, you weren't vile, I've left the comment up so anyone can go and view it. I know one person has already replied to you, so let's have a read what that person wrote. Yes, one of my other subscribers wrote back. He said, that's just blatantly untrue. You may want to believe Belfield is some sort of free speech martyr, but meanwhile the rest of the world will just go with the facts of the case and see him for the despicable manipulator and bully he really is. Now, because someone else replied to your comment, Andy, and I've replied to your comment, I think that you really should go away and rethink what you wrote and come back and tell me that you really, really thought that Alex Belfield was a free speech campaigner when all he ever did was hate speech. Anyway, I've rambled on. Right. I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye then.